Wife of 7 years, cheated with her coworker, and divorced me 6 months in. I couldn't be happier. I'm enjoying my new freedom, and I thought maybe this is where I, 31M, would share my story. Been with my soon-to-be ex-wife, 28F, for 7 years, married for 5. Due to our job specialties, we never planned to have kids. But we did have lots of great plans for the future, and we never disagreed on any future blueprints or directions we wanted to go. During the 7 years of our relationship, she started with her new job this February, and she met this coworker, 38M, from the job. She came back home after 2 weeks of UNOC training, and I found out she started chatting a lot with this guy. I was never a jealous person, and I know that she has always been surrounded by guys due to our job situation. The majority of workers in our industry are males. I never questioned her loyalty or boundaries because I trusted her. But I realized she started texting with this person a lot, and I brought it up 2 times in March. She kept reassuring me, that's the guy I don't have to worry about. He's just her friend. Which happens to be, they have lots of common topics to chat about. They're both Christians, so they talked a lot about the Bible. I'm not religious, but she said she has no problem stopping talking to this guy again if I don't feel comfortable. But I knew they were going to train again at the end of March, and I knew it was impossible, so I didn't stop her. I asked her if she's happy in this marriage, or even before this event. I would constantly check on her to see if there's anything I could improve, or just see if she's doing okay in this marriage. I never got any kind of negative feedback. Even up to mid-March, she was still saying I'm the best thing that happened in her life. Fast forward to the end of March. She was leaving to somewhere else for her job training for her new job again, for a month. In the first couple of days she was in training, everything was fine, and the interactions between us were normal. After the first week, we started fighting a lot. Part of me has to admit it was my fault because I was going through some stuff in my life, and I was being pretty emotional. But I also started feeling like she started becoming distant and having some strange ideas about the future that didn't even sound like things she would say. And it made me start feeling weird. We barely argue over anything. I can't even remember when our last really big fight was before April. I felt bad for having to argue with her over things during her training because I know how important it was for her. But mainly we were fighting over the fact that she didn't really keep the boundary between her and the guy, and I knew for a fact that he was pursuing her. Finally, she brought up that she needs some space, time to think about our relationship in the future. And she told me she still loves me, but it's not the same anymore. I was in lots of confusion. But I respected her and gave her some time because at the moment, I didn't really know what's going on. Shortly after, a couple of days later, she brought up divorce over FaceTime. My world collapsed, and at that moment, I still had no idea what was going on, but I had a gut feeling she might be leaving with the person. Finally, she comes back home in May. I went to the airport to pick her up, and when I saw her, I immediately knew that she's not the person I knew. She wouldn't even give me a hug at the airport after a month and a half of not seeing each other. She came home and didn't even unpack her luggage the first night. She came home, looked into my eyes, and straight up told me she wants out. She wants a divorce and doesn't love me anymore. That first night was hard, and I was hurt so much. But I was holding on to the hope that maybe I disappointed her during my emotional waves and our arguments, so I was trying to sort things out. The next day, she suddenly becomes a different person. She claimed that she wants to clean the house for me, and let's create a nice memory for the last couple of days before she leaves. I knew it sounded weird, and I felt she was lying about lots of stuff and holding back from me. So I went through her phone for the first time in 7 years. I found out before she came back, she was already in a relationship and signed the lease with the guy to move in together. At this moment, it was only a month and a half since she left home at the end of March, and she said to the guy she's willing to give up everything for him to start all over again. I feel really bad to this day for going through her phone because I had never done such a thing in our relationship. And I felt that I crossed the line. But at the moment, I decided to take screenshots of their conversations and pretended nothing happened, just to see how far she would push all these lies she had told me. The rest of the days, I kept asking her questions related to her and this person, and of course, I never got any truthful answers. So that night, when we were talking, finally, I got irritated enough. I started questioning her and got mad. She started blaming me for my issues, and that's why we can never be together. She was lying until the very last moment. Even though we were having some heated arguments, she then decided to leave that night. The first thing after she left, I sent her all the screenshots I had and told her I already knew everything. It was just that I was really trying to see how far she would push this thing. She said they only started their relationship after she brought up divorce, so it's not cheating. She also told me she had been wanting out for the longest time, just waiting for the right moment, because I'm very controlling and abusive. Seeing her leave and knowing that might be the last time I see this person in my life might be one of the hardest things to see in my life. Until the very last moment, I was almost just asking her to be honest with me and give this marriage some respect. She was my greatest wife for 7 years. I don't understand how she could have changed in such a short period of time, and that, until this day, still leaves me with lots of confusion and questions. I know all the past and the love she had for me was real, but how could that just disappear like that? Shortly after she moved out, I hired a lawyer and filed for divorce already. She said she doesn't want the bags I bought her, the house, cars, or any spousal support or money. She just wants out. I don't really want to make this decision, but at the same time, I can't afford for her to change her mind. So I did that right away and already got the paperwork signed back to me. It has been 2 months since the day she told me she wants a divorce. I'm doing a lot better now, and I'm trying to focus on myself for a new life and to be a better person. I know I'm not perfect, and we didn't have a perfect relationship, but to run away from a marriage, go into a relationship, and now live together with this person in the time span of less than 2 months? I think the things that hurt me the most were all the memories we have, all the things we built together, and the plans we had for the future. Maybe I'll never understand why everything could just change in such a short period of time, because she met a person, and everything went down the drain. Update. Hey everyone. I was joking about her getting married again soon. I never thought I would be able to give you some minor or dramatic updates right away. I knew she was ring shopping and looking for places to get married when I saw her browsing history when I went through her phone. But at that moment, I didn't really think that much. That's why I didn't even mention it. Today she reached out to me and asked if a divorce case has been filed and settled, and when will she get the divorce certificate. I didn't respond to her text, as I don't think I'm obligated to respond to this kind of subject. But I found that laughable when she brought up divorce. She said she did lots of research and stuff already. How could she not know that where we live requires a 6-month cooling-off period from the date the last person gets served with paperwork, which was June 10th, I believe. And she's already rushing, asking about when she will get a divorce certificate. Does she want to get married again that desperately? I honestly think this entire timeline is just so bizarre and messed up that it has to be true, because no one would be able to make this up. I believe she also has met the guy's family already. I wonder what kind of magic this person has. We literally go from everything that seemed great to her leaving, wanting divorce, to them moving in together, to wanting to get married in 3 to 4 months. She talked about being willing to give up everything she had to pursue a life with him in the text. Something is not right in her head, or their head. She had a fling. Okay, sucks, but whatever. If she wanted to leave me, horrible, but okay. She monkey-branched, it hurts but fine. To jump from marriage to another marriage right away, by even just having that thought, This is just madness and unstable to the next level. And honestly, now I just hope she'll be their problem soon, and not mine anymore.